Our topic is cell phone use while driving, and also specifically texting while driving and distracted driving.
It's relevant to, most of us got our driver's license around this time while we're in high school, and cell phone use over the past decade and a half has really proliferated, where almost everyone in this class has their own personal cell phone and is capable of texting, talking on it, and using access to Facebook and many other things. And this is a really pressing issue today because many of the laws that were put in place before, there's laws are starting to catch up, but the whole thing is the technology and what human habits are outpacing the measures used to control it.
Around 80% of teens agree with the fact that texting and using their phone while driving is extremely dangerous and could pose a danger to not only yourself but people around you, but 35% still agree that they do it all the time. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out, why teens and adults, because I know adults and I think everybody else knows adults that text and use their phones while driving, even though they know that it's really dangerous for you and for the people in the car and the people who you're driving around. So 11 teens, just teens, not only adults or people older than that, elderly people who have phones and use them, 11 of just teens are killed every day from driving and texting. And 23% today, or in 2011, 23% are involved with cell phones, and that's 1.3 million crashes.
3,900 people died in 2010 from a cell phone related crash, and 55% of those crashes were teens. And while you're texting and driving, you are 23 times more likely to crash.
Yeah, so are you guys going to be focusing on teenagers versus adults, or are you going to cover it all?
It's mostly teenagers because we could reach out to more people who are our age, less than adults. It shows what we're going to do later on in the slides. But mostly on teens just because we could reach out to these people and it's most evident in teenagers. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Do any of you guys text and drive? Or have you ever used your phone and drive?
Yeah, I text and drive.
So,
I don't all the time, but I think that everybody who has their license has done it at one point. And
so why do you do it?
Well, part of the thing that we're going to do is we're going to encourage people to take the pledge, and the AT&T sponsors, It Can Wait. So I have a present, a little slide thing of posters that I made to put around the school, and encouraging people to take the pledge, to stop texting and driving. And
so are you all going to?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question as far as, because you're saying, is it just texting and driving, or using your phone?
It's cell phone
both.
use, but the main
Texting is
concern
most
is texting, because cell phone use, when you're talking on the phone while driving, it's a major distraction because you're not, you're paying attention to the conversation and other things, but you still are able to be aware of your surroundings. But another whole side of it is using the data services with your cell phone, if you're updating Facebook, Twitter, or if you're texting on it, your eyes are off the road, so there's two sides to this whole thing, but that's why we did cell phone use in general, because there's still crashes caused by people talking on the phone.
Okay. For you guys, just information that I heard from, I think Miss Hannah told us or something, but it's they said that one of the laws that was going on was that you can only be talking on the phone and having a conversation if you have a Bluetooth in. But now they're making that illegal too because it's the distraction
it's
of
the
talking.
Distraction.
That's a later.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, okay. I just want to know if that was for you guys.
I know there's commercials about how they say that the one girl's my sister died in a car crash, so they have a lot of those.
That's the It Can Wait. The extension to that, or the message of that video is to take the pledge to not text and drive or use your phone while you're driving. So we're going to invite you guys to do that later on. Kyle?
And as far as like technology advances, I know that pretty much every phone you buy today has a GPS. And I know as a new driver, I get lost all the time.
But-
And I use my GPS on my
But
phone.
now, here's the thing, if you had an actual handheld, like the actual, remember like, the big thing before, the GPS units where you stick on the, now, would you, while you're driving, would you sit there and try to text and look through, would you do that with a GPS before?
I remember looking on my phone, or like before iOS 7, I would like put on the address of where I was going on my phone. And I would have to look at it, read it to see where it was going, so I usually traveled like with someone in there so they could read it out loud to me. But since iOS 7, I think, I don't know, I just got an iPhone 5 and I'm not good at technology.
They say it out loud for you.
Yeah, it says it out loud for you, so you don't need to look at it all the time. Bill, last question.
So, the cars that are like built with like you can call people from your car, would that be considered dangerous? Like
It's
a
the
even though-
distraction point of it,
Yeah.
because you're not focusing on what's in front of you, you're focusing on the conversation.
Well, what do you think the people who created that car that you could like talk with your car?
Well,
It is.
What do you think their reasoning was?
It is less dangerous because the physicality of holding your phone while you're texting or calling is
Another
is
distraction.
dangerous because you're driving with one hand and you're distracted just by holding it. But texting is it's more dangerous because you're looking down and not at the road. But it's distracting because it's not just the physicality of holding your phone in your hand. It's looking at the road while also talking to somebody. Listening to music is the same thing. Like it's dangerous. It's moderately dangerous to listen to music and talk on the phone because your brain is distracted, not your hands.
You had a question?
Yeah, and as far as like talking, like, my car, my mom's car at least has the thing where you push the button and you can talk to somebody through the car. And that's just talking to someone. I feel that if people are gonna argue that that's distracting, then you might as well like ban people from riding with you in a car.
Yeah. That's why we don't focus on that as much because there is almost no way to not be distracted while driving. If you're driving with somebody or listening to music in the car, there's a radio in the car. Like, they put it in there for a reason. But they don't want you, like, we just focus mostly on texting and doing things that you know are dangerous and could potentially kill.